Hey guys, and women too. Hey, we're going to do a little lengthier video this time on the studio, give you a tour. I love watching studio tours, whether it's, Andrew Masters or whatever, whoever. Produced like a pro. I like those guys. I mean, I like watching what other guys use and what I'll probably never have. But here's what I've got. So we'll start here. Okay. This is the, well, I don't know what kind of closet you want to call it, but there's cables there for patching in. More cables hanging here. A gift my son made me. These are for hogs in Texas. We take care of them. And I got some shelving in here for whatever you might need. I got some extra gear I'm not using, probably sell. Got these bass traps I made. These blankets were from a company, used to be in Amarillo, Texas. Then they moved out to Tennessee. I think it was called Acoustec. I can't remember. And I've got some other blankets inside. We wrapped up, put bands on them, stuck them in the corners. Just hanging up there simply with one screw and a clamp. Just to kind of help any kind of corner buildup. This is just a small vanity studio for doing my own projects. So I don't ever run into having a problem with standing bass waves. I'm not doing hip hop or rap, so I don't have a lot of bass pumping. So it's fine. Built these panels. Got these here. And I had some extra indoor-outdoor carpet actually. Just used it to catch some of the little reflections that might be happening up high. Even though you're not listening, you're not standing on a ladder putting your ear up to the ceiling, I still did it. These are things I got, I think on Amazon, and I just use them as diffusers. Here's some of the old foam pads. I know they say, oh, they don't do anything. Yeah, they do. They may not do what, you want at Ocean City, but it does work. So over here, we can see, here's my diffuser panel. Sorry about that. Diffuser panel up here, just to kind of spread it out. That's all it needs to do. Confuse the sound waves coming back. Now on the back wall, take it gentle here. On the back wall, I took all my books, I turned them around backwards. I've seen this several times. Guys talking about this is fine. If you're in a bedroom, in a closet, open a closet door, spread your clothes out, just absorb. So that's what I did here. Turn them around backward to help slow down and confuse the waves. I've got some cables hanging over here. No need to spin, big deal. I found some of these clamps at work, L clamps. Screw them on. And, you can paint them blue. You can do what you want, be creative. Did that. Got some headphones as far as that. I've got these, which are Alessandro Music Series Grado Labs. And one of my good friends is over in Austin. He owns Terra Nova Studios, which is a mastering house. And he's probably done 15,000 projects. He's won Grammys. And he said, yeah, they're $100. He said, I use those. Open backs. He also has like the $80,000 set of speakers, but he also uses those. Just got some stuff if guys do come in. I've got some extra headphones for them. Got a Yamaha pair here. Got the, I tried to get different series, different brands. What is that one? Just so I can listen myself and determine which ones I like. And they do make a big difference. I mean, you can spend more on a set of headphones and not like them. You know what I mean? Last week I got these. I had these. I'd used these for years, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to them. And they are the 7506. See it right there, 7506. I put them on, started playing music, and immediately I went, that's the sound I'm used to. So yeah, headphones make a difference. You just got to find the right ones. If you're not sure, spend your money on some 7506, and I think you'll be fine. On monitors, I bought these TV fives. I think these are, maybe these are sevens, TV sevens. They were, 400, something like that. Love them. Been working great for me. I got these as a second reference. They're a little 3 inch, and they are whatever this brand right here, Presonus. Yeah, they were. I'd watched a video on the most popular small bookcase, bookshelf monitors on Amazon. It was these, and the guy said, "Man, sound great." So yeah, I can A/B between the two, and of course these are better. Well, they sound better, but you know what? You crank these down and you start working with these for an hour or so. You make your music sound good. Put it back on these, it sounds even better. So you really do. It's effective if you can do that. So you can use headphones, $100 monitors, and step up a little bit. Let's go with the guitars. Oh, over here. That's just some songs I'm working on, I'm recording. In here, that's where I keep all the other songs. So I got songs in here, down here. This notebook has songs in it. This notebook has songs in it. And there's some loose ones. And then this folder has some songs in it. I've probably got 150, 200 songs there. Going with guitars. There's a Danelectro. I kind of inherited that one. It has a really different sound. I think I've used it once on a rock song. This is my old Trigger. Kind of wearing a thing here. I took I was performing full time, 5 years, did 220 shows a year, and for 6 years actually. So, and I would notice as I'd play, I'd see that reflection off the spotlight hitting people in the face, and I'd kind of flinch and they turn their head. So I took the pick guard off. It's already got a satin finish, so yeah, made it nice, and it kind of looks cool. Over here, I bought this one so I could do, of course, a little bit of jazz. I was doing George Benson at the time and needed something that replicated him. So yeah, that's a nice little guitar. I think I paid $300 used for it, $250, something like that. Dobro, anybody got that? Over here, I went without a bass for a while. I got rid of the one I had. So I bought a 5-string, and this is the entry level. I think it's, I don't know, $300, $400. Ibanez 5-string. The issue you will find, as I did, is that there's a knob, there's a ring, and then there's the internal. Same thing here, and then you've got this combination and that combination. It's hard to get a pop country sound. It's hard to get a warm sound out of it. If you're going for rock and roll all day long, it's fabulous. But it's just hard to dial in. And for me, I just didn't need that many choices. So I bought this one. That's all I needed. 4 strings, so I can't mess it up too bad. Look at that. 1 pickup, a volume, and a tone. So I bought that. That's what goes on the country stuff. I've had this since the mid-90s. It's a 72 reissue, or it's a 68. I think it's 72. Reissue Telly. I've long since put new tuners on it. I just put in Seymour Duncan pickups about 2 months ago. It was once signed by Albert Lee. That was kind of cool. Over here on the Strat, this is the Guitar Center's 25th anniversary Photo Flame. Yeah. These are Amalfitano pickups, if you're ever interested in those. It's AMAL, Amalfitano pickups. It also I'm using the Roland module, I'll show you that, synth. So this is kind of dedicated for that. I've already got another Strat. So yeah, it's I broke a string on it. That's cool. This is signed by Johnny Red, which is a blues player up in Dallas-Fort Worth area. He's kind of a legend up there. I also had Ben Beckendorf. He signed it, and Carolyn Wonderland had signed it. But they signed the pick guard, and of course that was stupid because they eventually rubbed off. So this is my Les Paul. I think it's a 2018 model. Sweet, sweet. We come over here. When I was playing full time, I did a Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute because I'm an impersonator. So, I mean, that's my name. I just did it as a joke. But this, I had a guy take a photo of Stevie Ray's guitar off the internet, and he created a sticker, you know. And I bought a kit guitar for $100. I paid him $50 for the sticker, decal, I guess. And I put that over here. I had the right pick guard. I had the SRV on it. And, you know, I don't do that anymore. And I wanted to use it in the studio. And sure enough, the old cheap pickups had died. So I bought a new pick guard loaded with pickups. I stripped off the decal. I repainted it blue. And yeah, it's kind of just a beautiful little guitar now. I always like my jacks turned inside out because in the dark, sometimes it's really hard to find. But you can just reach down and touch that and you're there. So that's why that's turned around backwards. This is my wife's Yamaha. That's a nice one. That's one of it'd be like the Fender Custom Shop. That's one of the upgraded ones. That's beautiful. This is an Alvarez that she played over in Austin and just fell in love with it. So I bought it, but I actually went to Sweetwater, and this video is not, it's not sponsored by Sweetwater, but most of the gear comes from them. And I had Sweetwater do the Plek Pro on it, and it's just pretty cool. It's pretty nice. There's an old Potato Bud mandolin that's going to be coming out of the case here in about a week or so. And this was my first Les Paul Epiphone. And when I got the other one, I took this one. I wanted to play slide. So I got one of these neck extensions, put it on here. I raised the action back here. And, oh, got a broken string on that one too. So then I can play some slide. Actually, it was going to be lap steel. But this is over here to the Breedlove. And this is in the Nashville tuning, which sounds like this. So it's just like a 12-string guitar, but your first 4 strings are the octave higher strings. So, you know, it gives you a nice bright. I use it a lot. I'll add it with a regular acoustic and then just have it all coming down on downstrokes or maybe one stroke every measure. It just gives a nice brightness to that whole acoustic sound. Okay, so that's the guitars. Come around here. My wife's got a couple of pianos. She's got a 6-foot grand in the living room. I bought this for her. We were doing some shows at the time. This is because it's lightweight, made out of plastic, had piano sounds on it, and really pretty cool. It's got more sounds than you would think, and it's Bluetooth. You can download the app and then import, make it sound like 12-foot Steinways, 9-foot Steinways. It's just really got some cool sounds you can do to it. So it's really worth more than, I think, the $600 we paid for it. Over here, okay, well, here's some pedals. Here's some pedals that I use. I pull them out when I need them. These were mainly for the pedal board I was using in the clubs, which I'm not using some of these now. Like this one, of course, this is a wrap pedal. This Dumbler, there's your Dumble pedal. Sounds really sweet. Sonic Cake, really hadn't played much, but I wanted a cream, I wanted some kind of a fuzz pedal, so I bought that. And at the time I was really into seeing if I couldn't buy all my pedals for $20 on Amazon. It was a challenge. This is supposed to be, Eric Clapton's Blues Master sound. Of course, you know what that is. Yeah, it's cool. And then I wanted a better compressor on guitar. The other one was noisy, and I found this on Guitar Center, used. I look them up. I mean, that's pretty cool. So, and I like the Cowboy. Being in Texas, you got to have the Cowboy. So this is cool. So the loop station. I had a musician over here a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about this. Gave him some ideas that I never thought of that. So if I want to demo pedals, I'll play something in here on guitar. You know, just clear tone, just play into it 30 seconds or whatever and have it loop. And then I'll pick pedals and start demoing the pedals I want to use. Here's my pedal board over here. So as I'm playing, I can go in and out from amp sim pedals, go through modulations if I want. You know, you've got your always on boost pedal. There's a preamp over there, compression. So that's kind of a neat deal to be able to do. You just audition your pedals and you don't have to keep going back and forth. Stop, bend over, tweak, bend up. Same thing with this. So this is the Roland TD-17. And if I would have known what I know now, I would have bought a cheaper model and done the same thing. So there's a website called E-Drums. I think they're based in England. And a studio has taken samples. They went in and recorded. And then you can buy like a package of drum kits for like $30. And you'll get 15 to 20 drum kits. And it can be everything from metal to pop to country, whatever. So I bought like 3 of those kits, spent like $100. And I've got probably 50 or 60 upgraded kits above and beyond Roland. So you can do that with anything. They have them for the cheap Alesis drum kits. So that's a pretty good deal. Save some money that way, get some great sounding kits. As soon as I started playing it, I just thought that's the drum tone I've always wanted. Just a little thing here for keeping crap in. In here, my wife found these. They're kind of cool. So this is just storing junk in. I was keeping all my mics in here. Well, now this is a cool one. This is look at that, MXL 920. However, I sent it off to a guy that hot rods microphones over in Arkansas, and he hot rodded it and wrote back. He said, "Man, this thing is like, I'm gonna get one." He said, "It's just really took the kit, the diodes and resistors and circuitry." He said it took it great. He pulls out the internal screens. There's 2 other screens in there, and then I changed out the capsule, and I put this capsule in it. For my Rode NTK, I took that capsule out and put it in the MXL. And then for this one, I got on Microphone Parts, and I bought a U87 capsule and put it in here with a new tube. So this is just, I don't know, it's great sounding little mic. I'd put it up against the U87. I'd love to find a studio in Austin, take my mics over there and do a little shootout and see what they think. But there's that one. Sorry, back over here. So, more junk. Okay, so this MK319 Octava, I had that hot rodded, sent it to a guy. I think it's Bill's Microphones. And, he fixes a switch. He went through it, did this, did that. The bodies are always real bouncy. You can, he silenced the body. I've got the 963 here. Is that what it is? 906, I guess. Yeah, I had a 609, swapped the guy for a 906. This one, it's a 170. I sent this to my mic mod guy. He hot rodded it. So that's a sweet one. I mean, you'd probably have a hard time telling it from the SM81. Ribbon mic, I did a few things to it. I silenced the inside canister, pulled out the other screens, and I like it. Pulled out the screens, it got warmer. So there's a good thing. Here's just parts here. Parts is parts. Some dynamics. What's this up in here? Oh yeah. So just remember, guys,
This is a 57 swivel. Drop that right in front of the speaker cone. A 58 is a 57. All you got to do is take off the clown nose. Okay, same circuitry, everything's the same. So if you got a 57, you got a 58. Some more parts down there. Got some slides. Chrome, brass. I like the brass. Glass. Okay. Over here, I bought this. I wasn't ready or willing to commit to, spending $2,000 or $1,500 on a pedal steel. It's because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or be able to play it. It's intimidating for a guitar player. Anything more than 6 strings, we don't know what to do. So I found this, a guy, you can find him on Facebook. He's out of Dallas. He builds these, and these benders are his. Screaming Chicken benders. So with shipping, I paid $530. So, and there you go. I got to do that, man. I'm sorry. But it depends how you tune. I'm tuning in the C right now, and with an E9 style tuning, so you can hear it. Real pretty. So, yeah. So, the guys asked me if I do any audio files, upload them so he can share them. I said I would. And I bought me a nice little Dunlop volume pedal to go with it. And you got to get the 500 amperage pot instead of the 250. That's the one that was going to work better. There you go. Ernie Ball. Sorry, I said Dunlop, but it's Ernie Ball. And we got that. Let's see back here. Okay, so I'm fixing to record some guitar, and I'm going to try this. I've got my 57 back here. You can see, where's it at? What did I do with it? Somebody move it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so we'll get inside here. I got 57 right there. It's pointed right at the key, right at the cone. You can see it right there. I'm maybe an inch away. And that's a modified 57. I pulled the transducer out. So it needs more gain, but it's, yeah, I like it better. Seems to be more information there. So nothing wrong with 57s. As I mentioned, I've got 2 more 57s over here. I can always use that. This is the new 440 Pure Lewitt, and just love that thing. Kind of tore up here, but I've got a new amp speaker cover right there. I just got to put it on. This is a 12 gauge shotgun mic. That's the company. 12 gauge. Get behind here so you can clear it up. And look at there. He's a vet, and he started putting, the circuitry into a shotgun shell. Super cool. And he has like 6 kinds. He's got, this one's a stereo. So come around here. Gonna pick it up. Yeah. Left and right. There's the 2 sides. That's how you want to focus it for stereo. And they're cheap, man. I mean, it's like his most expensive one's like $75. So he's not really making money on these things. But it's very cool. I just ordered one. It's called the Gold. And it's a, what it would be for? A cardioid pattern. I just wanted one more to put on acoustic. So this is pretty bright, If you're dealing with something dull, you can mix this in maybe 50% of the original mic channel you're using, and it really adds a nice sheen to whatever you're recording. I used it on my wife's piano, and I set it about 3 feet back just to pick up room ambience because it's stereo, bouncing off walls or whatever, and it's just a unique sound. The one that's coming, the Gold, I'm going to put it in front of a microphone, just do a test and see if it doesn't work just as well. So yeah, get you one of these 12 gauge microphones. You can check. I think the guy's name's Brad. Good guy. Again, this is my pedal. This is the pedals that I use more frequently. I love the Flamma brand. If you're a guitar player, you're probably familiar with Flamma, unless you're a Boss snob, Roland Boss. And I got this one because it's got lots of nice little preamps that I would use that, you know, let me see, give you the shot of these here. Of course, there's your Deluxe, there's your AC Vox, Coral Reef, which I think is rock, whatever they call it. The Plexi, of course, you know, that's going to be a Marshall, a Blue Eye 100, I can't remember. They all have a Mesa Boogie, and then the Van Halen 5050. So, yeah, it's cool. And then, of course, you got the tons of selections. Once you get it dialed in, then you can save your setting and move to the next one. So this is cool. This is a replica of a Little Timmy, which I guess was originally MXL. Oxford Orange. There's your orange. This was cool because I only wanted one knob. I didn't care about depth or diffusion. I just wanted one knob. I thought it looked cool. Space, yeah. So I did that. I like this brand. Don't know what it is, but they've got other pedals that match the graphics. It's good for a booster. Blue delay, I like that. That little blue light's way too bright for me though, even on stage. But I like a little slapback delay on country guitar. EQ, of course, compressor sustain. The Supro Delta King 8. I think it's a little 5 watt, but there's a switch on it somewhere and you could make it a 1 watt. I just wanted a recording amp, that's all. So that's what that's for. This Blues Junior down here, I've never been a Fender guy. To me, the bigger Fender's too farty. You can't really get definition, clarity out of the bottom end. But that's just me. I mean, I've only been playing 50 years. So maybe I don't know amps well enough. And then there's your Supro. Here's your layout for that. Sorry, let me turn the mic. But if you want something to record with that sounds good at a very low volume, this is the one you want. Of course, this over here is made by ADA. This was called the Poor Man's Matchless. So there's I bought this in Fort Worth. And it's called the A10. It's all tube, Class A. If you don't know what Class A means, you can look it up. Class A means all the amps the tubes stay on all the time. There's not two sets of tubes, which the cheaper tube amps use. And once the circuitry gets hot, the tube gets hot, the circuit switches from the hot tube over to the cold tube so that you don't wear out your tubes. It's just a cheaper way of doing it. But, you know, guys like, well, I don't know any professional that likes AB tubes. Even Eric Johnson says he can tell when batteries are running down on his rig, on his pedals. So same thing with this. Guys will be on stage, you're playing, it decides to switch in the middle of a solo and you've just lost your tone. So I got this. This was a $300 amp back in 93. 94 maybe? No, closer to 97. And it's just been a great amp. I mean, it's a studio amp. You can look at it. You got treble, you got bass and volume. That's it. You got a bright power thrust and gain. Cool amp, if you can find them. Not available anymore. Over to the funner stuff. Okay, back here on this rack, I bought this. I needed a CD burner because I wanted to be able to stick it in the car and still listen to it like the old days, listen to my demos and my mixes. So I found this online on Facebook, bought it for $100, works fine. I had been searching for these because I wanted to be able to tune my room. It's a real-time analyzer, and this is the pair that goes together. I saw a pair of I saw this in this 2500. I saw it in Waco. $750 they were asking for it. So evidently these are pretty in demand. But for the pair, and there's another one that's a dual 15 band, stereo band. I got all three for 200 bucks. So I got my money. I can easily sell them and make my money back. I just need to sit down, plug them in, figure out how to do it, get the little reference mic, and tune my speakers. Okay. There's my guitar synth. I think it's the GR50. That's that. Really cool. It doesn't track, so don't get on here and play speed metal. It cannot track that fast. But man, for everything else you want to do, organs, pianos, string, patches, other instruments, drums, it's a great synth. I've got CDR burner down here. I bought it from a guy that owned a studio in Austin. He died, so they sold off his gear. But this, I wasted my money. I only paid like 70 bucks for it, but I can't get the door to open. Had it fixed once and it won't open again. And then the DAT player, I had some old DATs. I found this and bought this, same place. Paid 75 bucks for it. So 75 bucks for a DAT machine. If you've got DATs, I got a little tray down here. Okay, so the tracking side is this. I've got this 2-channel FMR, really nice preamp. Come on, it's a really nice preamp. I bought this. I got the leveling amp and the compressor, really nice compressor, off a guy in Austin, kid that was going all digital, in the box, and I paid him, wow, 300 bucks for all three. You buy these now, you're over $1,000 to buy them. So I upgraded on some compressors, changed up that, and I got rid of the other 2 compressors, made my money back with a profit, and still got this one. So I can still sell this probably 300, 400 bucks. I got the GA Pre-73. It's nice, like it, no reason not to. I bought this Auteur Black Lion. It's got everything I need. That's all I need right there. And I bought this because when I mixed down over here on this side, the level going into the Denon SD recorder was really low. I was having to crank everything to get more signal. And then I watched a video, guys strapping a mic pre in front of your final destination, whether it's your hard drive or whatever. And they said, man, you get all the gain you want. So that's why I bought this one, just for that. But I've also got it patched in now, just as to be used as a mic pre. So I got 5 mic pre's here I could use. I'm going to tell you, I did a shootout with these versus this. So I took the loop pedal over here. I think I recorded some acoustic. I took it, ran it through that, mic'd it, and then ran through every preamp, and then also went direct into this Tascam. Then I began the process like an hour of going back and forth, looping and listening over and over. For me personally, I couldn't tell a difference between, the $400 one, the $300 one, the $500 one, and the ones built into the Tascam. The only reason I started buying external pre's is because I had read, the Tascam pre's are okay-ish, but you would benefit from having like a vocal channel. So the first thing I did, I bought the PreSonus vocal channels. I got 2 of those, and then so what if I want a third? So I better buy a third, and then what if I want a fourth, and then you get that gear acquisition syndrome, and then you just start buying crap. I'll tell you something here. So this, I had the Drummer 241 XLR compressor, and it's now $1,150 on Sweetwater. I bought it used for $120 10 years ago, but that's what I use to crush my drums, because even though those have some great tones, I thought, I wonder what it's going to be like if I hit it with some hard compression. So I did, and I kept, again, looped it, had the loop machine sitting here, and then playing through that Drummer. and then I would compress. I would link the channels and then compress and keep squashing it until it was too much, until it was like affecting the cymbals and it just didn't sound right. And then I back off a little bit. Then when I recorded, I go direct into that. So I'm already got some extra compression on it, but man, the harmonics that it would push out was really sweet. So then I thought, well, I'm ready to sell it. You know, if all I'm doing is using it for that, I want to see what something else sounds like. So I had got this Behringer 4-channel, because I'd used Behringer before, and I'm really a Behringer fan now. Just I think they're trying harder. You know, remember, I think first it was like PV was trying to be, you know, for the little guy, and then Alesis was trying to be for the little guy, and Mackie was for the little guy, and Behringer. So what the deal is, this has a gate on it and a compressor. So I don't use the limiter much. You can see it's just barely even there. But when I was recording acoustic and I was compressing it with the drummer, I realized I was hearing all the little finger noise just before the song started. I was hearing breathing. When the song's over, I heard a little rustling from the seat, and I thought, I need a gate. So I found a Drummer 201, which is a stereo gate. And I bought it for $85, I think, off of Music Go Round or Guitar Center used website. And it had a knob broken off, so Buddy fixed it for nothing. Looked great, performed great. I used that with the Drummer. But I found out this has a gate. So I sold that too. And I bought more gear. And I bought more gear. So, you know, it's like, I'm squeezing all the money out of this gear. I try to buy used stuff, and then I turn around. If I don't need it, I sell it and usually get my money back or more. So then I bought this DBX because the drummer was dedicated to the drum set. So, well, I need a compressor for something else because, you know, I had the 2 compressors that were FMRs, but I wanted something different. Well, what if those are dedicated to somebody and I got somebody else I need to, you know, squash a vocal on or something? So got that. And then I did a lot of research, a lot of reading. And 1066 is probably the closest thing to the 160X, I believe. But you know, the 160X is not stereo. This is. So I like it. It's nice. And now I have the drums. I'm compressing the drums on 3 and 4. I've got them linked together on the Behringer. And this I can use for acoustic guitar or whatever I'm needing. Doesn't matter. So I'm thinking I'm going to buy me a nice reverb, right? Here's the story. So I type in, you know, top 5 reverb units. And of course you got Brataski and Lexicon PCM 90s and, you know, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000. And right in the middle of the Yamaha SPX 2000 and the 900 or 990. And it's like, God, I'm not going to do that. I mean, this has an okay reverb. Problem is you've only got one effect. That's all you got. So I had the Lexicon, was it 200? Yeah, I think it was 200. But with my drums, it was putting reverb on the kick and putting reverb on the bass guitar. So I wanted something I could dial down, you know, kind of like a low cut frequency and get rid of that. I need more reverb on the bottom end. Well, right in the middle of this article, there's like 3 of them. You can look it up. Just type it in. Best reverb hardware units. And you'll see the Virtualizer 3D. It's almost like the guys are embarrassed to have to say it. But they said the reverbs in this are on the same level as the other ones. Plus, it has a built-in filter, and you can cut any frequencies out of the reverb, like from 400 down. And I did that. Man, I was playing with it. The drum was playing. I started cranking it up to about 400, and the reverb disappeared on the bottom end. I was like, perfect. They're like $115, $20 or something. Just great. I mean, it's got things you can use. You can patch into your guitar and have a Leslie effect on your guitar. Well, there's some of the things you got right there. I'm using a lot of stuff now uh, back here with, I think it's psychoacoustics or dynamics, but uh, it's got an enhancer, it's got an exciter, of course, it's got built-in compression. You can use that. It sounds fine. Probably the same one that's up here, and this one's the same one that's technology was stolen from a 160 uh, DBX. So whatever. But yeah, there's a lot of things in here that you can use. So then I bought two more to go with it. So I can have reverb on mixing in my final chain, my mastering chain, and then I can have something specific, pull something out and use it on like a piano. I found a nice little Rhodes piano on that keyboard over there, but I wanted a little swirling effect. Well, I found it in here, patched it through. It's beautiful. Sounds great. Very 70s sound. I got the power supply here. Got my Hosa XLR input. You can see I've already labeled them here, so I know. But they're all running out into the back. So all I got to do is just take a microphone, stick it here, and I'm running off the GA here. And then it comes in the back, and I've got it coming out over here. There's the GA. So I plug something here. It comes up here, and then I take the red cable, and that'll be over here where it says GA. So I try to loop it to where it makes sense. Here's my drums. The drums are coming up from behind. You can see those two cables. That's my drum set. Comes up under behind here on the back side. Then I just come out and bring those over here. So that's that side. And this is the Tascam SD24. I use the 24 instead of the 32 because I don't need all of the stereo channels. I got stereo for maybe keyboards, maybe a guitar pedal that has stereo I want, and then maybe piano, organ, something else. So maybe 4 stereo channels. Well, this has 6. So I got more than enough stereo channels. I didn't need more. So I saved about $100 and still get what I want. However, since that new Tascam 2400 came out, that'd be nice because I'd love to just have all my microphones plugged in at once and being used. And then I had the Behringer Monitor 1 where you can control your different sets, and the volume pedal just kind of blew out. So I had this in a closet and hooked it up, and it's perfect. It does everything I need it to do. I feed both monitors. I've got headphone jack, and it's just good deal. So come over here. Speaking of that, first thing I run into, and I call this like the mixing side master. It's not really mastering, but I bought this Behringer 6-channel. I don't know what the model number is, but you got 6 channels, and you got for the individual, plug his headphones in. You got some bass, treble, output, whatever. But in the back, I can plug in. You can plug in like his bass. Bass player can plug in behind there, and you can get. He can hear the whole band. Plus, if he wants to hear himself, let's just say the main is the entire mix going to the whole band. This side is where he plugged his bass in the back. Now, if he wants to hear more of himself, he comes over here, he does that. Oh, but I can't hear the band now. Well, just crank up the whole thing, okay? Oh, now my bass is too loud, but I can hear, okay, well, just roll closer to the main band, and you get your own balance that way. That way you hear yourself. It's the More Me knob. So speaking of that, the More Me, how do you get it in the back? You get you a couple of these. I think a lot of companies sell them, but I just grabbed the Behringer. So here you go. So here's how you get the More Me. Okay. You've even got XLR. So the vocalist goes in here. The vocalist goes out. Okay. And then you take, the cable comes back to you, and then he plugs in the front. Now, the cable that comes back in, one of these knobs, here's your mic level. So he's here, you've just gone in, and now you're taking in his vocal to the mix. This is him though. He can turn himself all the way down, but it doesn't turn it down here. His loud mix goes, his vocal goes to the board. Then he can turn himself up. Oh, I'm too loud, he can turn himself down. You see? So that's the more me, probably need one of these. That way, bass player, just get an adapter. If you got an XLR with one of these on the end, he can plug his bass in, keyboards, guitars, plug in here. He can give himself more me. Or you can rely on the other one. So I've got two options there to get those signals. Here, I had the Rolls GE 160s, supposed to be an off-take of the DBX, but graphic EQs, I had them, and they were nice. But I'll be honest, if you're a graphic EQ guy from like the 70s and 80s and 90s, parametrics can be intimidating, and you can go too far real quick, and you're not sure if what you're hearing. Oh yeah, but you can't get as detailed as you want. Well, that might be, but from 40 to 50, you can get 40 brought up, or you can bring 40 down. I don't know what the big issue is, why guys are so down on graphics. Plus, anything, even on graphics, anything more than about 3 dB, you're having to mess with, you probably need to go back to your tracks and fix the issue over here. This is just for a little bit of boosting or cutting. It's not for totally shaping the entire sound. You need to fix that on tracking. Okay, so here's my other virtualizer. I use one of them basically for, let me just show you that. We'll get over here. Here's where I keep my manuals. And let's see one of them. Here's the virtualizer. Okay. Ooh, I love this tray too. Okay, so back here, let me grab one more. Hold on. I get the one that I work out of all the time. Yeah, if I can. Oh, don't worry about it. It's over here. So, like I'll use one of these two. Cathedral of Cologne or the Concert, number 1 or 2. I'll use those for my reverbs. And then you got pre-delay, how much you want, how close to the signal do you want the reverb to be. And then I'll come over here and I may use a gate, I may use expander. The Ultramizer's nice, but you really got to watch it, man. You can overdo it and it sounds horrible. But if you know what you're doing, okay, so down here, I'll use stereo imager. But again, you got to watch what you're doing. If you just think you're going left and right, you might want to rather pan. But it is nice. Ultra wide has its uses. The enhancer's nice. The exciter, again, you can crank too much because you can enhance. Look at all the stuff you can do. Harmonic kick, And I've used other things in here. Some of these things sound pretty cool. Speaker simulation, that's a nice special effect. And it is simulations. So these I haven't used much because I wish you could pick your own pairing. I'd love to just have 3 or 4 different processors in it. Then I could say, well, I want that, plus this, plus that, plus that. Mix it the way I want it, and then that's all I need. But you know what? They wouldn't be $120. So, but it would be in one rack, and that'd be kind of sweet. So, yeah, so the graphic, got that set up. It's pretty much flat right now. As I said, I got one of these. This unit is old, but it's a little workhorse. I bought this about 5 years ago, and it has its place, but I'm still on the line. You know, I'm kind of looking at the SPL Vitalizer actually, but that's $1,100. But it may be worth it. Who knows? So here's my settings. Pretty much try to keep them around 11 or 12 o'clock. Don't want to go too crazy with it. The highs I don't use as much, just because it gets too shrill if you push it too much. And that's with any of BBE, same thing. Aphex, same thing. And that's all this is. This is just designed after those. So, you know, and I got one more here. They're on $120, so, you know, I got 3 of them. Big deal. And then this, I didn't want to go back with a CD burner because, of course, nobody uses CDs anymore. But I wanted to be able to listen to something. So this, at least I could take this SD card, stick it in the computer, and get it, you know, downloaded to my phone, upload it to my phone, listen to it in the car. I'd like to get a little stereo unit in my car that has an SD card, and I can just take it right there because it still works to use it in your car. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the studio. Don't know what else I didn't hit. That's the power supply for the Rode NTK. I'll show you the mics. I don't think we went over all those. Back here, I've got the P420. I bought that for $75, which is about $50 cheaper than I've seen anywhere, even on Guitar Center, Music Go Round, Sweetwater, and Facebook. So a guy just needed some cash, and I snagged it up. This is the NT1. I just bought that, and it's like $160. And I checked all of the low self noise, and this self noise is like 6. So it's very good low noise. And that's important, especially, you know, you think about it in your studio. You don't want something with 20, 21 self noise. You're already fighting an imperfect room. So get the best advantage you can. And then this one is just kind of for fun. It's a Pro AR C414. Yeah, they don't care about ripping you off. But I watched a video of a guy playing acoustic, and he had a 414 right next to it. And I went back and forth with headphones on, back and forth listening to these two acoustics. And there was a slight difference, but I mean, you're going to pay $1,200 for a 414 or $75. So yeah, that's what I got. And I'm going to put it in front of a couple of acoustics and see what happens. I may have somebody sing in it, see how that sounds. But I just couldn't resist, man. I mean, the proof's in the listening, and this thing was just as nice as a 414. I know people are going to go, oh, that's not right. Yeah, sorry, listen to it yourself then. And then in the context of an entire mix, it doesn't matter. You know, these are all of our studios are mainly for us, right? So they're for us to make music, and sometimes we spend a little too much money. Sometimes we don't spend enough. Sometimes we spend it on the wrong things. But all this gear here, I would challenge anyone. You can have your warm audio, anything in that 500 to 800, 900 range. You're not going to create any better mix with it. So much of it is mic placement, right? Especially on acoustic stuff, mic placement. You get off an inch, I don't care if you've got a U87 and a $5,000 mic pre. The guy with a 57 and an ART tube preamp is going to sound better than you. It's mic placement. Nobody, they just still can't get it. They think I'll just grab more gear. I know you're saying, well, yeah, but that's what you do. Yeah, but come on. I bought that new. I got that used, paid $100 for that, $120 for that, $130 for that. You know, I don't pay much for my gear. And then I get it used, and I can turn around and sell it. I don't take a bath on it. Like you buy, have you ever noticed how many units of warm audio are for sale on Sweetwater and Guitar Center? It's like guys are buying this stuff and then they're dumping it. So I'm like, well, what's the use of that? So anyway, I just kind of rant for a minute, but a buddy of mine he's in Trisha Yearwood and Garth's band, been there for 30 years now. And hey, he's got a killer studio at his house. He took a tour of Warm Audio, and was talking about wanting to pull a bunch of their stuff in, and coming to find out he's no longer using their gear. So I mean, it's good mid-level, but you know what? This is good mid-level right here. So there's nothing wrong with your gear, man. And look at this. I've got this. This is a great little preamp. If you can find one of these, just buy one, okay? It's not a starved plate, and if you know about tubes, you know what starved plate means. Behringers are mostly starved plate when they say it's a tube. It means it doesn't do anything. This is not a starved plate. It's in the circuit. So this is a great little tube amp. I'd put that in front of a acoustic. I mean, if you're going to mic a distortion, or you want a little bit different sound, because it's a cool little sound it'll produce, get something like that. This here, I wouldn't have a problem at all using that. Even though it's a starved plate, I wouldn't have a problem using it. It's clean, okay? And there's some pedals. I'm going to sell this pedal. I got a couple of pedals here I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell these pedals down here. So, okay, guys, that's kind of the studio. And, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're a gear nerd and you got something out of this. Maybe some tricks you might want to try yourself. And we'll talk to y'all later. So get dialed in.